Hello? Is the sound off? What is going on?
Hold on.
Okay, that's good.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can.
I'm leaving. I'll just go back there.
So,
Unmute. Can you hear me now?
yes.
Great. So we'll continue with class. As I said, it's like a rolling with the punches kind of day. So I'll admit that person. I'll have to come up and down to let people in. But it's like a Murphy's Law day. Just everything, all the glitches. Yeah, but it's fine. I'll just jump up and down. So let's start in a seated position though. And if I get up, you don't have to follow me. We're just beginning and because I have to let people in. And thank you for rolling with me, everyone. Glad I could be here. Inhale and exhale. Just come to your seat at the edge of that blanket. And we're going to be letting that pelvis drop forward, and chime in again if you have trouble hearing me, but it sounds like the audio is working. So great. Find your sits bones and just take that seat and root down. Take the hands to the thighs in whatever seat you choose, even if you want to kneel or sit on a chair. Allow the pelvis to spill forward so that you have a nice lumbar curve. Rub your hands together, nice and warm. And then place the warm hands on the back and just feel that lower back curve, that lovely natural curve. And then take the hands to the thighs again. Inhale and exhale. Allow the thighs to drop towards the earth as we just connect with our breath. Very simple. Inhale and exhale. And then close the eyes, cut out the visual distractions around you. At the same time, get a sense of space around you, a sense of your physical space that's not the seeing sense, but rather just the sensations. Today we'll be following the inhale. And on the inhale, feel that sense of getting taller through the spine and making space in between the vertebrae. And on the exhale, find the foundation and the root of the pose. In this pose, we're finding those sits bones on either side of the tailbone. On your inhale, fill that belly and chest and notice you inflate automatically. You have that sense of floating. Inhale, rise. Exhale, root. Feel free to count the breath on the inhale evenly, and then on the exhale, the same count. Your own rhythm. Inhale to rise. Exhale, root. Take the fingertips beside you on the mat. Keep the eyes closed. Get a sense of the fingertips being extra roots for you down into the earth. Inhale. And exhale, find those extra roots. Imagine them growing roots down into the earth. And then take the fingertips behind you and the thumbs forward. And now tap into the sense of where you are energetically, if you've come to the mat after a busy day or in the middle or in the beginning of your day. Just the energy you bring to the mat, a sense of presence and stillness. While everything moves around you, you're still and getting a sense of your beingness. One more round of breath, filling the belly, the chest, and all the way to the shoulders, rising up from the root, and then exhaling, find those foundational points, fingertips, and anchor through the sits bone. On your next inhale, flutter the eyes open and just become aware of your space and begin to transition to an all fours position. If you have trouble with the knees, I'll give you the tip for protecting the knees is to place a blanket underneath your shins and allow the kneecaps to spill over the edge of the blanket. So the blanket's about 3/4 of the way down the mat. I'm describing a lot more because today's visuals are a little more difficult to see over here. Again, this is a little technical glitch day in Portugal, so I appreciate your patience. Come with the shins on the mat, on the blanket, and just feel those kneecaps kind of spill over the edge. If this is entirely too uncomfortable for you, you can take on your back, you can do a cat-cow on your back as well. But we're going to take the wrists below the shoulders, fingertips spread out on the mat, and really anchor through our shins in the back and the tops of the feet. Find the neutral spine, navel tones towards the spine while we keep the lower back curve. Inhale, grow that spine long, and exhale, find the hands and the shins. And then curl the tailbone under towards the floor, rise up through the back of the spine, up into cat, drop the head and look at the knees. And then into cow, we'll just undulate. The tailbone goes up and then all the way through, bring the shoulder blades together and then look up. If you want to close the eyes, you can go inwards. You can really travel along the spine and notice where are the tight points, where are the sticky points, and where are points a little bit looser as we go back into cow. And feel free to take that floating inhale as you lift the back of the spine up, ballooning up through the back of the lungs, and exhale, just release into the foundation. And one more time, inhale up, pushing away, exhale down. But now bring the forearms down to the mat and the palms down and spread the fingertips. Again, if you choose to be on your back, if there's something's bothering your knees, you can just squeeze the knees to the chest and roll on the sacrum. Here we are with our forearms down on the mat. Press the fingertips down. Weird sound there, but anyway, separate the shoulder blades, lift the back of the heart up towards the sky. Inhale, back of the lungs, get that nice attentive intention, just puffing up, and then exhale, take the heart towards the floor, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then we'll do that again. So the pelvis is staying steady. We're just taking our upper back and unrounding it. Inhale up, exhale down, melt. And continue the path of your breath with this movement. Beautiful. One more time with your breath. We'll feel a lot less rounded afterwards. Come up onto all fours. Do a little core work here. Find that neutral spine. Inhale, make it long. And then exhale, take the right toes and curl them under and straighten out the right leg behind you and rock back and forth. So you're getting into that calf and the hamstrings right away. And if you want to come onto your fists, if that bothers your wrists, you can do that too, just to make a straighter line there. And then come on back to neutral, find your midline, find the center, and then lift the right leg off the floor. Notice that toning you have to take in that navel area, and then lift the left arm next to the ear and reach long. And exhale, find the center, find the foundation, the shin and the hand, and then come down to earth. Alternate, inhale, exhale, curl the back toes under on the left and rock back and forth. Again, pressing through the fingertips protects the wrists as well. And then find a neutral, lift the left leg up off the floor, parallel to the floor. And then the right arm next to right ear. Really inhale, lengthen and float up. Exhale, find the shin in the hand, find the midline, come back down. And alternate with your breath now, either side. Sweeping action, nice and elegant and graceful so that you can flow with your breath. Toning here as we lengthen and get a sense of stability in the middle. Great, come back down to that foundation. And then we'll take our hands forward. And we're gonna do, I'm gonna suggest you take your knees behind you a couple of inches onto the blanket. And we're gonna come forward into a knee plank. So I just want to go back and forth between the knee plank and all fours, squeezing the armpits down to the ribs so we can really activate our shoulder muscles. And then just push back. You won't be in all fours as much as just reaching through the diagonal of the arms, pushing the hips towards the heels, and then come back to knee plank. Keeping those hips nice and even, squeezing the glutes, and then come back. Hips toward the heels, only as far as is comfortable, and then come up floating with your inhale into that strength of knee plank. And then back again. Beautiful. And then let's see if we can try for a full plank. So again, take your fists to the mat if you'd like, or take your forearms down. That's another way to protect the wrists. We're going to bring the hips forward and then keeping the toes curled, straighten the right leg, lift the knee off the mat, and straighten the left leg, lift the knee off the mat. Squeeze down on those armpits. So we're here in our regular plank that protects the knees as well. Bring one knee down and then the other. And then slide the hips back towards the heels. You can also come into puppy with your forehead on the mat. Just suggesting some alternatives here for people who have knee issues. And then inhale back up. We're going to do a downward dog now. Take the palms forward on the mat. Curl the back toes under. Not sure about that weird audio glitch, but oh, okay. And then we'll lift the knees off the mat into down dog. So pedal the feet back and forth here in our downward dog, and I'll keep going. You don't have to watch me. Stay in that downward dog. Just go into here. There we go. Okay, that'll take care of it. All right, and downward dog, pedaling the feet. Bring down to your knees if you're comfortable. Bring the knees down, come back to child's or puppy, just to release those wrists. Reach out long. Keep the forehead down. Inhale, float the back of the ribs and the lungs towards the sky, and then exhale, feel that release down. Beautiful. And now come up onto all fours again, and we're going to take our flow between down dog and plank. So again, you can feel free to do a forearm here. That will protect your wrists, keeping your hands together or the palms on the floor, or you can come up into down dog and then shift the hips forward into plank, holding that long line, especially on your inhale, lengthening. Exhaling, let's go back to down dog. So you've built some strength in your shoulders and all along the arms in our practices. So try to get that full shoulder complex as you come forward into plank and exhale into dog. As you exhale into dog, feel those hamstrings stretching. Beautiful. One more into plank. And then exhale back. Now come forward into plank and allow the knees down. And from here, you're going to snake your spine down. Bend the elbows, bring the thighs to the floor. Bring the pelvis down, bring the entire torso and the forehead on the mat. And the arms, hands come beside the shoulders, and we're coming up into a cobra. Inhale, pull the hands back, tops of the feet on the floor. And exhale, flow down. And then the arms go next to the ears. And the legs go back. And we're going to take a nice long, lengthening toe to fingertips with the forehead on the mat. And then we're going to lift everything off the mat, the head, the arms, and the legs in locust pose. Again, that sense of floating on the inhale. And on the exhale, notice your balance point, and then exhale down. Again, inhale, lift everything up, toning through the navel and the glutes. Exhale down. On the third time, we'll paddle the arms and the legs. Sense of swimming through a nice, beautiful body of water. Kicking, few more breaths here. Exhale, sigh it out. Let one ear come to the mat. Feel that earth beneath you. And then lift up, push away with your hands, and we're going to come to seated on the side sit. Get into our hips. Take the blanket, and you'll need that leverage of the blanket beneath you. We'll take the right leg folded in front and the left leg folded on the side. And you can keep your left leg straight if you'd like. You can just keep that balance there as well if you have trouble with that knee on the side. Take the fist beside you, push into the mat, and lift up the sits bones and then place them down. Close the eyes and find out which one is lower than the other, and then place the blanket under that side. So we're placing that level underneath the sits bones, keeping that structure nice and clean and even. Take the fingertips beside you. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, let's turn over the right shoulder with our chin. Following your breath through center again, over to the other side. Rising up through as you inhale, rooting down through the fingertips and the sits bones. Turn one more time. Come back to center. Inhale, look up at the sky. And exhale, bring the chin to the jugular notch between the collarbones and drop the weight of the head, all that perhaps mental clutter with it. Just release the brain energy. And then look up again, holding the right ear toward right shoulder, pressing through the left fingertips, feeling that drop of the ear softening towards the right shoulder. If you want to use your right hand to help your head up, reaching up on that inhale, nice and long, and an exhale, finding that earth beneath us. The left ear, left shoulder. Nice. Come back up. And then we'll take a twist here. First, let's rise up the arms up towards the sky, just making sure we're lengthening through the side bodies. And then come down, bring the fingertips beside you, make a circle around you. Just visually imagine a circle around you. Trace the fingertips along that circle, turn to the right for our twist. And then trace that circle back the other way, sternum facing towards the left. Nice, easy twist here. Really nice. Now take a nice, luxurious side bend. Inhale, tall. Exhale, walk the right fingertips out to the right. And take the left hand to the left thigh. And just find that root through the left thigh, pushing it down as you lean over to the right. And then the left arm comes to the sky and leans over towards the left ear, softening. Feel free to take your forearm to the floor or to a block. Sweep the left arm up, And then walk the left fingertips over to the side, just a mild side bend on the other side, right arm up. Nice. Let's bring the arms up to cactus so we get a nice shoulder stretch here. Take the thumbs behind you and then bring the forearms together. Squeeze them together. Lift the elbows up towards the sky until you feel your limit, and then open up the forearms. Beautiful. Take that shape again. Let's bring the forearms together, squeezing in. Inhale, lifts them up. Exhale, bring the elbows down, more rooted, and then one more time, squeeze together. So wonderful neck release here and shoulder release. Bring those elbows back to cactus and then into the side of the ribs, palms up. Feel that horizontal stretching of the collarbones, nice and open. And then come forward, and we're going to take the hands to the thighs. Support your thighs as you switch into cobbler. So stay on that blanket. Probably just shift yourself in the blanket a bit. Bring the soles of the feet together and take your hands to the ankles. Nice leverage here so you can keep a nice length to the spine and a curve in that lower back. Inhale, reach up, exhale, notice the thighs drop. Inhale, reach up. We're not even leaning forward here. We're just getting that dropping into the hips and allowing the thighs to take gravity and open up a bit. Inhale, rising up. Exhale down. And then we can switch to the other side. So just keep that left leg folded in front of you and fold the right leg over to the side. Close your eyes and see if you can find that level pelvis again with the help of your blanket. And then take the fingertips beside you, or you can take the fist beside you and lift up and then settle down into that even sit. Opening up those hips, fingertips rooting. Great. And now we'll look side to side just to explore the neck range again, left to right. You can take the ear to the shoulder again. Maybe just noticing maybe this time your neck has a little more flexibility. Come back up, look down, and then float the head up with a soft gaze. And then come back to neutral. And then we'll do a nice twist again towards the left. Rooting through the pelvis, inhaling, grows the spine taller, and then exhaling, you can walk those fingertips a little bit more around the circle. And then walk them back the other way. And then come back to center again. Take a nice long side bend towards the left, anchor through the left forearm or the hand, softening. Take the hand to the right thigh, right hand, right thigh. So you'll probably get a lift a little bit. So you want to anchor down. Inhaling, feel the right ribs lift up towards the sky. And then exhale, feel the hips descend. And then lift the right arm up towards the sky and over to the side, next to the ear. Sweep the right arm up to the sky, and then we'll take a other side bend to the other, much milder over here. Right hand down. Nice soft way to open the hips. These side sits. Float on up. Now we can come to transition to a standing sequence. So we'll come toward a downward dog, move the blanket aside so you can clear the mat in front of you. We'll take the palms forward towards the top of the mat, curl the back toes under and get those knees off the mat, lift them up. And you can bend the knees and bring them to the thighs, bring the ribs to the thighs. And really push away with the hands so we can lengthen that spine, inhaling, exhaling, Let's pedal the feet again or bring both heels down to the mat. And then keeping the knees bent again, bring the ribs to the thighs and walk the hands back, bringing the full solid foot on the mat, both feet. And just hang the head down and look upside down between those shins. Hang the head. The weight of the head can release and you're just draping the spine over the thighs, and the head is a nice loose traction on the neck. Sweep the hands up behind you. Here we are, Winter Olympics, ski jump, ready to go. Sit the sits bones back. See if you can bring those thighs lower and then lift the ribs off the thighs. Sweep the arms next to the ears. Voila, inhale. Here we are up in the chair, squeezing an imaginary block between the thighs, tracking the knees behind the middle two toes, nice and aligned, and then press through the feet on up to standing. A moment in mountain pose here, full alignment before we step forward with the right foot. And now you want to bring your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart toward the edges of the mat. And if you want, you can take the back heel to the mat. So we're having an angle of about 30 degrees. We're coming into warrior one stance. The hips are forward. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale, feel the length of the spine growing out of that pelvis, and then bend the front knee. And we're coming towards our warrior one. So if you can see me here, I'm stepping back with my back foot to adjust for warrior one. If it's too much for you to put the heel down, you can lift the heel up and curl the toes. I had to do that for a long time before I got the flexibility to do this full heel down. Hips forward. Imagine some weight in the right hip, so just sitting down into that hip. And then inhale the arms above the head, bring them into prayer position. Warrior one. Lengthening up, exhaling, feel the shoulders drop away from the ears and the hips heavy, but still supported by the legs. Warrior one, confident, light, yet rooted. Sweep the arms next to the hips and then come up on those back toes, tiptoe forward into mountain pose. Now we're going to shift the weight into the left and we're going to come up into tree pose. I know you guys are familiar with that. So you can stay at the top of the mat. I'm just showing it from this side on the left foot. Inhale the right knee up to a right angle and then take the knee out, take the right foot to the side of the left leg into our tree pose. Hands on hips, finding that center. Inhaling, feel that tree growing upwards and reach the arms long. So you're feeling like those branches reaching up to the sky. And then exhaling, finding that long, nice, strong rooted tower on the left side. Sweep the arms above the head, sweep the arms up for branches, and then come in through prayer position down the middle. See if you can keep that balance while you bring that prayer position down the center, finding the midline. Holding this amazingly, one of my favorite poses in yoga, tree pose. And then release to the floor into mountain. Inhale the arms above the head. Look up, watch that prayer position come down through center to the heart. Invite the breath in. Lightness coming in, exhaling, find the root as you trace that line down the center. And now as we reach up again, inhaling, I'm going to take the arms out to the side and swan dive down to a forward bend. Keeping the feet nice and steady and rooted. Come bring the hands down. If you want to bend the knees, if this kind of is hard for your lower back, you can bend the knees and hang the head down. It's fine. Explore the world upside down here for a moment. Again, just noticing the root of this pose. So you've got your
Feet rooted, spread the toes. Great. And bend the knees so that the palms can come to the floor and we could walk back to our down dog. And this should feel even more flexible than the last. Or you can keep your knees bent, whatever's comfortable for you to do downward dog, that's what you're gonna do today. And then bend the knees, walk the hands back to the feet, hang the head down. Let's do another toning chair pose. So sit back, keeping the knees behind the toes, sit back, sweep the arms up behind you, ready for that ski jump, and then sweep the arms down, arms next to ears, peel it up. Toning navel toward the spine. Feel your strength building. Pressing through the feet, let's come up to standing, briefly in mountain pose. Take the hands to the hips and step the left foot forward. Find the base for warrior one here. Back foot angled. Or you can keep that heel off, whatever you need. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, bend the front knee. Finding warrior one, hips facing forward. Find the midline from the front to back. Find the midline from right to left. Inhale the arms above the head. And prayer, hands in prayer position. Confident warrior, making sure your knee tracks in the middle zone. Exhale, find the hip, drop into that left hip. And then sweep the arms down to the hips. Tiptoe your back foot forward to mountain. Nice, graceful transitions here. Now we're shifting into the right, weight on the right foot and finding tree here, lifting the left knee up and then turning left knee out with the foot on the inside of the standing leg. Hands on hips first, just to find that equity between the hips, and then inhale the arms up into branches. Exhale, find your foot on that floor. Bring the hands into prayer, trace a line down the center, finding your heart. Inhale again, reach up. And then come through center into prayer. Beautiful trees connecting the hidden language of trees. And then we'll come down to mountain again at the top of the mat. Inhale the arms up. Prayer position through center. Another breath, inviting it in. Look up, prayer position through center. Inhale, look up. And then swan dive down. Keep the knees bent if you'd like. Hang down in a forward bend. If you want a challenge to have those straight legs, take a nice hamstring stretch here. Beautiful. Take the knees, walk the feet back. And we'll take our down dog. And nice lengthening here. And then bend the knees. And this time we'll just come up to standing without the chair. Just sweep the hands in front of the legs. Come on up to standing. We'll take that flow again. Take the right foot forward. Come into warrior one. Noticing your breath in that rhythm. Sweep the hands down. Hands on the hips, tiptoe forward to mountain. Weight on the left, come into tree. Sweep the arms up into prayer through the center. Place the foot down, mountain. Inhale up through prayer. And inhale up Again through center. Inhale up and sweep forward, forward bend. Walk back to down dog. Finding your foundation, feet in the hands. Walk the hands back. Inhale up into a flat back and then hinging at your hips, come on up that way to mountain. And step forward with the left foot. Angle the back foot, hands on hips. Inhale, exhale, warrior one. Reaching arms up. And then sweep the arms next to the hips, hands to hips. Walk forward, mountain. Weight on the right side, tree. Inhale the arms up. Come through the center line to prayer tree. Find your balance. And then left foot comes down. Sweep the arms up. One more prayer position through the center. Appreciating our stability within. Inhale the arms up and swan dive down. And then take your feet back to down dog. And ease the knees down to the floor, the shins. And now we'll transition onto the back for bridging, opening up the upper back again. So ease yourself down onto the mat. Allow the fingertips to find the back of the heels. Keep the back of the head on the mat, resting the back of the skull, the midline, down the spine, all the way to your sacrum. Feel the shoulders drop towards the floor. And feel the foundation of your feet. And you could add a foundation here through your arms. If you press the arms into the mat, lift the hips up into bridge. So bridging is not an arching through the lower back, but rather bringing the sternum towards the chin as you look up so that you can really get into the mid and upper back. Take the hands beneath you, beneath the sacrum, and clasp the fingers together. Press the entire length of your arms into the mat. Keep the knees hip width apart and lift up into a bridge. Release the fingertips and snake the spine back down. Noticing that your shoulders are already broader through the collarbones, more towards the earth. Lift up again. Inhale, hips up. Clasp beneath you. Beautiful. Release and snake down. Exhale. One more inhale, floats the hips up. Easy. Floating them up. Clasp the fingers, press the shoulders, the sides of the arms into the mat. Reaching the sternum towards the chin, strengthening through the glutes. Your exhale brings you down again. Sacrum finds the mat, glue that sacrum to the mat. Feel the stability in your hips held by those abdominals. And then your lower back is lifting off the mat while the arms stay down rooted like we were pre-bridge. And then we're going to lift the right foot off the mat, keeping that right knee at the right leg at a right angle, and then place the foot back down on the mat and lift the left foot off the mat, keeping that right angle in the leg. And then alternate the lifting with your inhale, and your exhale finds the floor again. But we're doing our dancing bug here, just lifting the right leg and the left. So flex on your hips as much as you like towards that 90 degrees. If you have any confusion, you can watch me up here, just keeping that stability through the core while I lift the leg off the mat. And now we're going to be the puppet pose, which is to bring the arms up towards the sky. And imagine there's a puppet string in between your wrist and the matching knee. So follow that line as if the wrist is pulling the knee up, keeping the shoulders away from the ears towards the mat. So we're getting a nice full core workout. And you can adjust this to your abilities, not abilities, but just desire of how much core you want to work. You can tiptoe your foot down to the mat, or you can keep your toes lifted off the mat. And if you find you're compromising the stability of that sacrum and the spine alignment, then you can come down towards the mat with the feet, because then you don't want to, you want to keep the alignment while you're still challenging your core. And of course, that lightness through the inhale and the rooting through the exhale. Nice. And now we can come down with our feet. Inhale the left knee towards the chest, circle the ankle in both directions, and take the left ankle to the right thigh. You can massage your shins and calves here, just palpating with the hands. It's a nice way to release some of that muscle energy, even rubbing around the knee, and then taking the left hand to the left thigh and just pressing gently on the thigh so you can plug the femur into the hip bone. And let's imagine you're pressing that left foot against an imaginary surface or some wall next to you. And then inhale the right knee towards the chest. And notice that opening on the left hip and the hip flexors, IT band. Each inhale, connecting you with that hip. Each exhale, allowing more release. Find those landmarks, the sacrum, the back of the ribs, the back of the skull. And then release the right leg. Unwind, left foot to the floor. Inhale the right knee towards the chest. And take the circle the ankle. And then take the right ankle to the left thigh. Massage calves, shins. Just rub the knee out and take the right hand to the thigh, the right thigh, and press down lightly so we can feel that connection with the top of the femur. And then reach your left leg and keep the feet active. Figure 4. Sacrum, back of ribs, back of the skull. A nice string of pearls line. Keeping the connection. Inhale into that right hip. Exhale, find the foundation. Figure 4. And then allow the left foot to float down to the earth. Unwind the right leg. And then we'll take our legs straight and long along the mat and the arms above the head next to the ears. Feel the length as you inhale, filling the entire belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling, we're going to squeeze into the thighs, to the knees. Bring the knees towards the chest and hug the shins. You can even tuck your chin into the chest. Inhale, let's reach long again. Exhaling, squeeze in the knees to chest into a ball. And again, inhale, lengthen out. And exhale, squeeze in. And then keep the knees towards the chest. Take the hands to the underneath the knees, and we'll make circles in one direction, keeping the knees together. And then change the direction of the circle. And then take the knees so that they're apart towards the armpits, and then make opposite circles with the knees. Feel that drop into the hips, fluid through the hip socket, and then change the direction of those circles towards each other. Beautiful. And now take the soles of the feet to the floor, close the eyes, take the knees together, the feet a little wider than hip width. Take one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Close the eyes and do an internal tour of any tension lingering in the body, any areas that need intention. And for the next 2 or so minutes, you can have yogi's choice. So you can choose whatever your body, tap into that rising and the rooting of the body, and watch the breath is telling you your body needs. If you'd like to do, for example, a happy baby, we'll be doing a twist, but if you want to do another twist, crazy legs, whatever you choose to do right now, take a pose that your body tells you you want to do. Maybe another figure 4, anything you choose. Even if it's rolling onto your side for a quad stretch, just some suggestions. Tuning into our individual rhythm. Whatever pose you choose, feed the pose with your breath. And with that breath, your presence. Then allow yourself to come back with the feet on the floor, knees up. We're going to take a twist that involves eagle legs, but if you want to keep your knees together, you can do that. We'll take the left leg over the right, cross-legged, and then use your right foot for leverage to turn over onto your right side, allowing the left knee to come down to the floor gently. And then we're taking the palms together, arms long and straight next to you. Inhale and exhale, finding the base of this pose. Inhale, take the left fingertips up towards the sky, straight arm, and over to your left side. So first look up, just feel the expanse through your fingertips. And when you exhale, notice the side of the ribs and the pelvis. So if you had a block behind your sacrum, you would not be knocking that block over. You'd be nice and even, keeping the pelvis in that 90-degree position to the floor. So your next inhale, you can press through the right arm and lift the ribs up a bit, and then settle back on your exhale. And then you might allow those eyes to gaze over the left fingertips. Eagle twist allows a little extra bonus stretch on that hip flexor on the left. Another round of breath. And then trace your fingertips up towards the sky, palms meet, and then reach the left hand beyond the right, sliding it along away from that left shoulder and then back again. Ease yourself back onto the back, unwind the legs. If you're joining me with eagle legs, you'll take the right leg over the left. Then use your left leverage of the foot to lift up and then over onto your left side. Side of the right knee gently comes to the floor. Everything is super soft and gentle. Palms together. Inhale and exhale. And then sweep the right arm up towards the sky. Open up long arms, connecting collarbones, nice horizontal line. Exhaling, notice the contact with the floor through the back of the arms, side of the ribs, and the side of the hip, back of the head. And then on your next inhale, press through the left arm, lift up slightly, and then come on down, connecting through the back body on your exhale. Then maybe you gaze over your right fingertips, completing the twist. And then sweep that right fingertips, tracing the sky. Bring the palms together, slide the right palm against the left, away from that right shoulder, and then back again. Roll over onto your back. Bring the knees together, feet wide apart. And let's do a nice hip flexor stretch as we trace a line down the shin with the opposite knee. So right knee traces left shin down to the foot, back up again. As you windshield wiper the legs here, we're taking a conscious connected journey of that knee down the shin and keeping the hips fairly stable so that you can feel that stretch along the hip flexors on the outside of the thigh. And then we can take the thumbs into the elbow creases. Lift the forearms above the eyes. And take the elbows in opposite direction of your leg direction. Getting nice triceps up here and shoulder glide. Now head side to side, opposite of the elbows. Then softening our gaze, we're going to follow the elbows with our eyes. Following those eyes to activate the vagus nerve, communicating to the entire nervous system to settle and absorb the practice. A full body twist. And then you can slow that down. Take one leg long on the mat and then the other, flop the feet out to the side. Take your hands to the sides of the mat. Make a fist holding onto the mat and then pull down towards your heels. You'll feel that your body travels up the mat, the torso, and pulling the shoulders down towards the mat and pulling those shoulder blades, just melting them towards the hips. Then release, and then right arm long, left arm long next to the body, palms up, opening up those shoulders more, broadening the collarbones. Back of the skull aligned with the sacrum. And then we're in full alignment for Shavasana, closing the eyes, As you inhale, noticing the contact with the earth, the back of the ribs, as well as the expansion upward, and then exhaling, feel that energy coming towards the center, the contraction. Follow the breath. You can even take the hands together above the body, so hovering above, the palms towards each other. And then as you inhale, palms pull away from each other and then come down towards each other. So we're echoing the feeling of the breath, inhaling, and then exhaling, bringing it together into the center. One more time, inhaling, expanding our hands away from each other and exhaling together, and then drape the arms again. Settling in with your breath. And now allow the breath to travel through the body, taking a tour of the physical stress, any tension that's lingering. Send your intention through the breath to those places of tightness or tension. And then allow the next breath or two to address any mental stress you might have, worries. Allow the breath to carry them away with your exhale. In the next few rounds of breath, addressing your spirit, a mood. Perhaps you came with a certain mood to the practice and now you have shifted some. Allow the next few rounds of breath to synthesize mind, body, and spirit in our path of yoga, to bring it all together in harmony so that we can be in a more connected state wherever we are. Feel the warmth of the earth beneath you. Feel the lightness of the sky above you. And feel the coolness of the wind in your breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bend the elbows and the knees. Roll over onto your right side away from the heart for an inhale and an exhale. Allow the hands to help you up to a seated position. We'll meet with our hands in front of the heart, pressing together into the center, that stability within. Bring the thumbs to the third eye, and then to the throat, and then back to the heart. Thank you so much for sharing the practice with me today. Namaste. The record.